This week on Nntendomain, we get Pokeballs deep in Pokemon Go, and we love it.
And there's Pokemon in them there hills.
Welcome to Nntendomain, episode 32. We are your hosts, Trey Johnson and...
Hey, how's it going? It's me, Jeremy.
What's up, man? How's your week off been?
Oh, man, it's been great. I've been outside walking around a lot, enjoying the weather.
Yeah, I heard people have been doing that nowadays. Or driving
Yeah,
around and looking for things.
I see a lot of people walking around, more so than usual.
Yeah, there was a little game came out called Pokemon Go, which we'll get into as our topic of the week once we get past what we've been playing and our week in review. But
it's important we cover these things first.
Sure. Before we get to the meat of the Pokemon Go. But it seems to be pretty big. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I've seen a lot of people playing it in Chicago. It seems to be doing all right for the little app that it is.
Yep, there's people that have hated it and then started loving it. It's already had people turn around full circle. Love, hate, love. A lot's happened in the short period of time since released.
Yeah, I'm still kind of divided on it, but we'll get into that later. What have you been playing in our week off?
Well, first off, I definitely want to say I did finish Mystic Quest. I'm done with it. I beat it, and
cool.
I finished it on Source hardware, so I feel good about that because I beat my first game on an actual Super Nintendo console probably in close to 10 years, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And it was the first RPG I ever played all the way through, so, it's got some meaning to it, some sentimental meaning. But, yeah, I beat that. I found an old Game Watch when I was packing up because we're getting ready to move to a new apartment. And it didn't have any batteries in it, and I think that my dad gave it to me years and years ago. It's a Super Mario World Game Watch. I put a picture of it on my Instagram. But
oh, cool.
I had never actually tried to make it work, so I just was like, oh, hey, here's this. I guess I'll try to make it work, see if it works. And so I went to the store and bought a battery, and it works. So I played that a little bit. It's frustrating and hard, and I haven't beat it yet. But it's a wrist game. So
oh, wow.
They're just even crappier versions of the handheld Tiger games that there were. But this one, I did find out that it was a port of a Game & Watch game. So it's actually a Game & Watch Mario game that was converted into an actual watch. So that's kind of cool.
What I was going to say, what do you do in it? What is
you walk and avoid things that are coming at you, and you have to jump over them. You have to time it perfectly as they move toward you. And then I sort of figured out you climb a vine, and then all of a sudden you're on Yoshi, and then it gets kind of weird, and I don't really know what's happening after that. Those games are really, really hard to understand because it's just a few sprites on the screen.
Yeah, it's not like side-scrolling or anything, though, right? I mean, it's all within one screen, so it's I don't know. I figured you'd just be walking and jumping on Goombas or...
You're jumping over things. You can't jump on anything.
Yeah, or catching water. I mean, I know that's the way I know the way the Game & Watch work. It's just one screen, and it just goes and goes till you die. There's the one with the guy who has the glass where you catch the water from the ceiling and then you dump the bucket. There's that, and there's the one where you have to hold up the bridges. So I figured it'd be something kind of like that.
They tried their hardest to overcomplicate it, and it just becomes a mess of random things happen. It's really hard to tell what's happening because all of a sudden you're on Yoshi and you're on a different level, and there's a pre-printed background with the LCD splotches, whatever you want to call them, are appearing over. And
okay. Just
all of a sudden you're on a hill, and then you're going down a ladder, and then you're suddenly down at the bottom, and there's a mole, I think. So it's just, there's too much going on. It would have made more sense if it was just a side-scrolling thing and you were just jumping as things moving at you or something like that. But,
sure. Yeah, that's what would make sense, but I guess they would add more to it.
Complicate it more to make it seem even more legit than it is. It has a headphone jack. So you can plug headphones in and do it beep, beep, beep at you.
It's not it's not like the Koji Kondo, it's not like the Super Mario World theme or anything like that.
Well, it does play that dun 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 dun, gives you a little really chippy sounding version of that.
Oh, so there's an actual song on there. There's actually a background.
But it's just
song.
that beginning. It's not in the background. It just plays, and then the game starts. Just ding, 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 ding. Just beepy sounds.
Nice. I love those beepy sounds.
That in turn inspired me to track down an old Game Watch. That was the only Game Watch I ever had growing up. It's the Batman Game Watch. watch from 1989. It's a Tiger watch also, which actually, no, I think the Mario one's not a Tiger, but this one is. And I found it. I bought it off eBay. I spent a little bit more than I wanted, but I just kind of had to have it so that I had 2 game watches. And I bought a battery and got it working today, and I beat it. So I can still beat it. I remembered how to beat it. It's a little easier to play. It is like a straight up side scroller. You're just throwing ninja stars or batarangs, whatever you want to call them. Then you have a gun, and you're like shooting bullets at bad guys coming from the right as you move to the right. And then you fight the Joker at the end of every level. You have to hit him 5 times. And then you try to save Vicky Vale, but there's like spikes that you have to avoid, jumping into the spikes when you jump up to save her. And if you die, you just go to the next level, but you don't lose a life. But if you save her without the spikes hitting you, you get a life back. And you just progress through the level. Each level's longer. There's more bad guys to fight. Harder bad guys start showing up, have guns, and they can like jump, try to attack you. Stuff.
Yeah,
so it's actually it was still kind of fun playing through it. I'm surprised. I mean, I died the first time, and then the second time I beat it. So it all came back to me how to play it.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't think I played any of those game watches.
They're terrible.
I don't even remember seeing them ever, or even seeing a person own one, or seeing them like available to buy anywhere.
I got the Bat one actually about $20 cheaper than the other one I've seen because it didn't have a band had fallen off.
Oh, okay.
But it still works. So if I buy like a broken one that has a band, I transfer it over.
Yeah. You don't need the band if you're just going to play it. My time with Tiger handhelds was very brief. Like, I think I only had one, if that.
I had a lot of them because we didn't get the Game Boy until 91, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I just had like a baseball one or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I had the baseball.
It was like one that had like points, and I could see like what the highest points were. So I'm like, oh, well, that's what happens when you get that. You know, there's not really much to try to do here. You know, because you can see, like I mentioned before, you can see all the sprite that you're gonna see are on there already. So I guess if you have nothing else to play, then it can pass the time for a while.
But I did find out the Mario one I have, I think at the time my dad gave it to me, there wasn't really a demand for them yet, but it's been at least 10 years. It's worth about, since it works and it's in good shape, it's probably worth between $50 and $75. So it's a nice little collect to hold on to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's worth something for working, you know?
And it keeps time. I set the time on it and it's still active.
Oh, it still works?
Yeah.
Sure. That's cool. Did you play any like Super Mario RPG? I mean, that came out last week, right?
Mario RPG. I just got to Moleville.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been trying to play those first 3 Mario RPG games at the same time. So that's been interesting. Where like I switched like off on every like star or like every boss, I guess. I thought that the Mario and Luigi had stars in it too, but I guess it doesn't, because I was going to like play all of them and switch off after every star, but I don't think there's any stars in Superstar Saga.
No, I don't think so. So there's still like a certain amount of collectibles.
Yeah, I just trade off when it goes to a different part, when it goes to like a different chapter, pretty much. Because like I played through to when like Bowser gets in that cannon, and then you have to fight that guy that wants you to collect all the coins in the beginning. So I got to that, and then I beat him, and then it went to the next part. So then I quit from there, and then I started playing Super Mario RPG again after the first star. And doing that like kind of makes you forget where you're supposed to go when you get to the first one. But playing like when I did like the first stars for like Mario RPG and Paper Mario, it worked pretty well. And I
know those games really well. I think I'm not as knowledgeable of Mario and Luigi, but those 2 games I've played enough.
Yeah, well, I wanted to play all of them again, so I'm like, I should just try to play all of them at the same time. Mario RPG, like, it has a lot of, like, nostalgia, but I think that, you know, I feel like Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi are better games than Mario RPG.
I think
just saying that. Like as like what's aged better, I think it's played through like half of Mario RPG on Wii, like when we were doing the retrospective episode that we did way back when, and it didn't feel as good as it did when I played it in high school. You know, from now that I've played other stuff.
I don't know. I'm going to venture to say that I think it's a better game than Mario and Luigi, but I think Paper Mario is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the way like the controls work better, and like the way the action commands work a lot better in the newer ones. It kind of like spoiled me for it, I guess. And I understand it's the first one. It's the first one that did that, but I don't know.
I think maybe I'm a little biased because I love that game so much and I've played it so many times, but I'm still marveling at like how much detail there is, like when you're inside of a house and stuff. It looks really good in isometric perspective. Like you get like people have like desks with shit piled on it.
Oh,
you
for
get
sure.
just like an organic look, and it looks really great for being a 22-year-old, or I guess a 20-year-old SNES.
I'm not saying that it isn't great. I'm just saying that its successors are better than it. At least those first 2 are, and not by very much. I mean, they're all great games. I'm just saying that I think that Paper Mario and Mario Luigi are a little bit better. It's like all the same developers anyway, so it's like, I don't know.
I think they got, there's some funny stuff in Mario RPG, the original one, but you're not getting that same, hilarious dialogue that you get in.
But it's not like Mustard Seed of Doom and all that. It's not as...
Which I do thoroughly appreciate.
Especially the way Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga has a really strong intro, I thought. I thought the beginning of the game was very strong. It just kind of goes right into it. There's not really a whole lot of dicking around, which the other two games do to a point. Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG, I think both have a little bit of trouble getting started at the beginning.
Yeah, because they want you to get used to how you're playing it.
Yeah, well they both have they both have the same beginning. Where you go to the castle, Peach gets taken, you gotta fight Bowser, and then something happens and you get knocked away from whatever the castle is. They both begin like that. It's like Paper Mario. It goes to Peach's castle, Bowser shows up, you fight Bowser, Bowser beats you, you get knocked away. The other one, you beat Bowser, the sword comes in, you get knocked away from the castle. They're similar. But the other one's a little different, just because
I think the action
and all them show up.
Yeah, the action in Mario and Luigi is better. In battle, you're actually feeling like you're controlling what's happening. You're not just timing a button press, but you're really jumping. You're really moving things around during the battle.
Yeah, I think that's why going back to it was a little weird for me, and it didn't seem as great as it did before because I was used to having all those extra stuff that I could do in the later games. Just returning to it, it doesn't seem as intuitive as it was back then. But that's just because they've expanded on the battle system so much. And I'm talking mostly about the battle system more than the graphics and all that.
Super RPG was a Square RPG on Super Nintendo, so it stands the test of time in that sense that it's that part of that golden age of RPGs.
It was, but it also but it's also Nintendo's pretty much taken all of the main Square people from that era. They basically own all of them. Is what I've noticed. A lot of them have been snatched from Square and became part of Nintendo now.
Oh, because of Alpha Dream.
Well, Alpha Dream and Intelligent Systems and the guy who did Secret of Mana and Grezzo and all that. A lot of if you look at a lot of the stuff that's coming out from Nintendo now, a lot of it is in the RPG world. A lot of it was made by guys who made shit for Super Nintendo and don't work for Square anymore. Nintendo kind of snatched them like they did with the Star Fox team and all that.
Did they ever?
It's a different company now. It's interesting. Maybe from what I've noticed, a lot of the research.
Well, I'll just say QLEX isn't in the other games.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't make his way into the other ones, unfortunately. He should have though.
He should have.
I enjoy it. It's just different from playing so many Paper Mario games, so many Mario Luigi games. It's just, and I hadn't played it in a while. But I still like it, and I'm still enjoying it.
Oh, I love this. I love this game. I love for a while when we were talking about it getting released, I was like, I don't really care. I already have it on the Wii. I've already played through it on the Wii Virtual Console. But man, I love using the controller.
Played on the
Pro
pad.
Controller to play it. And I don't really play it on the pad. I like to play it on the TV with Pro Controller. And it's great.
Yeah.
I love that, and it's great. I'm just having a good time playing through it again. And, I'm just laying on my couch doing whatever. And then I'm like, I feel like playing some Mario RPG. And I just grab the controller off the coffee table and boot it up.
Nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So I do think it was worth the purchase. Also because I got it for $1.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it was like a no-brainer for me to get it again.
And I originally got it through Club Nintendo. So I've only paid $1 total.
Oh, well, that's cool. I bought it because I ended up selling my Super Nintendo cartridge. So
I did too, man.
Yeah,
I did.
So that one hurt too, but whatever. So I was trying to get it again, but
speaking of cartridges, I've had to sell in a hard time. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on a previous cast. I found a really cheap Nestor's Funky Bowling for Virtual Boy.
Oh, nice.
I got it for less than $20 because I don't know. I just lucked out. Someone listed it really cheap on eBay and I bought it. Did buy it now.
Does your Virtual Boy still work?
No.
Because mine died. Mine died maybe a year after I bought it. I know they don't last very long, and it's kind of hard to find replacement parts for it.
There's actually a similar hack, if you want to call it that, to what I tried with the NES where you boil thing. On the Virtual Boy, you take the image sensors and you bake them in the oven. What happens is the glue separates from the video ribbon cable so the ribbon cable that transfers the video from whatever to the actual image sensors, there's two of them. Virtual Boy, that glue starts to come undone over time. And so you heat it up and then the glue can stick back where it's supposed to.
Oh.
And it fixes it, supposedly. And it's a temporary fix because it'll just happen again. But I have two Virtual Boys, so it's definitely something I think I'm going to try at some point, one of them.
Well, let me know. I mean, my Virtual Boy is just decoration. right now. Like it
Both
has been for a while. I mean, it's just in my room, just sitting there. But I did play. I mean, when I got it, I played it, but I forget. And I stopped playing it for a while. But whenever I try to do it again, it wasn't. I think like only one eyepiece works or something like that. And I didn't like drop it or anything. It just kind of just stopped on its own.
I think it's pretty great about the Nestor thing though, because it was one of the things I sold to get money for the GameCube when we bought the GameCubes.
Oh yeah.
And I sold it for, I think I got like $35 out of it back in 2001. I had bought my Virtual Boy on eBay like a year before that for $30. So I remember like being like stoked. I sold one of the games for more than I bought the Virtual Boy with all the games that came with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I rebought Nestor's Funky Bowling for, I think I paid like $17 or $18 for it. So it's kind of nice to get it back for less than I sold it for at that point in time.
Oh, sure.
I don't know if I think it might not be worth as much. I think more copies have surfaced. That might be part of why I got the one I did.
Maybe.
It's so cool to have that back in my collection. Something I was missing, just like the Batman Game Watch. Like certain things I used to have that I really liked that might suck, but they were still important to me. Like a Mystic Quest also,
Sure.
It's fun to buy these things back and have them again.
Yeah, definitely. I bought my Virtual Boy for $40 with 4 games from a used place in Wisconsin. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. I mean, it's like half the library pretty much.
Yeah, that was a good deal.
And I think I think it was like Galactic Pinball and Teleboxing, and Wario was in there. So that was a big thing. I had the Wario game.
Yeah, that was worth the $40 by itself.
And I think tennis maybe was the 4th one. I don't think
tennis came with every one.
Oh yeah, can't remember if I had the Mario Clash. I don't think I do. I don't think I have it, but
it's actually. If we ever get our Virtual Boys working again, Clash is not that expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember like Galactic Pinball was like a major one for me, and like the Wario game, because Wario game was probably like the best game that was on there. And the pinball game can be fun for a while.
I think the Wario game, without a doubt, leagues beyond every other one.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of time in the Pokemon one. Or not the Pokemon, the pinball one.
Pokemon? 3D
Pokemon pinball, I was thinking.
Yeah, I talked about it before in our, I forget, whatever episode it was, but one, I forget which company it was. One of the company that works with Nintendo was trying to sell them on making a new version of that game. They even like made a demo of it and showed it to them, and they wouldn't do it, or they wouldn't mention it. I forget which one.
Galactic Pinball?
No, Wario Land. The Virtual Boy Wario Land game. I forget which, you have to, if you listen to our podcast, you'll have to go back, whatever episode that was. But there was an episode we were talking about a particular company as part of whatever the topic of the week was. Yeah, and they had like approached Nintendo and asked them if they could like help them remake Virtual Console games or do like Virtual Console games of the Virtual Boy, and they said no. But they had actually made like a demo of the Wario Land one that would work like on the system, and they hadn't responded to them about it.
Wow, bad blood, I guess.
But I forget which company it was. It's like one of their second parties. They were trying to sell them on it. If you happen to find it, email us at Nntendomain.podcast@gmail.com and let us know.
Hey man, I don't think we've talked at all about what you've been playing.
I told you I was playing all 3 of the Mario games, of the Mario RPGs.
Oh, that's right.
Of Mario RPG, Paper Mario, and Mario and Luigi. And I'm still playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and I'm still playing Dragon Quest III, so those have been like my regular games. And I'm still playing like Rhythm Heaven, Mega Mix. Still playing that. While I was traveling, I played a lot of Pocket Card Jockey. I'm still playing that game. Just because it's a pretty easy game to just play and not think that much about. I suggest that you get it if you haven't gotten it, just because it's so cheap and it's fun.
Well, you're still playing it. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's highly addictive, I think. But you basically you get your horses, you race your horse for however long, and it can only like level up until it becomes a mature horse. And then when it's a mature horse, you have to win however many races without losing, or if you lose so many times, you have to retire your horse. So then you start again as a baby horse, and then you go through. It's basically the way it works. You can only have like one horse at a time on, I think like when you can only like raise one horse at a time. Or no, you can do multiple at once sometimes. I don't know. It's still fun. It's like fun enough to just play. Like if you just want to play something, you don't really want to like get super into it or whatever. It's like I play it when I don't want to do like Dragon Quest, or I don't want to do like, because most of the games I've been playing right now are RPG games. So when I don't want to like get full into an RPG game, I play that game. If I watch something that's that's a little mindless but still fun. Like more puzzly type thing.
It's cheap, isn't it? Like $6?
Yeah, it's 6 or 7, and there's a demo too. Well, you played the demo, but.
Yeah, I have it.
But yeah, I like it. I'm still playing it. Like when we were in the car, like when my mom was driving back from Missouri, I was playing it. I was just playing it in the car because I can like play it and talk to people. The only thing that sucks about it is that you can't pause. You can't pause in the middle of a race. But I guess that's kind of an interesting quirk to the game, I think. Like you
Doesn't
can't
work with sleep mode.
No, if you close the DS, you'll lose the race. So it's made to where like if you start a race, you have to finish the race. Like you can't pause. Which I think that's part. I mean, I'm sure they worked that in there for the gameplay aspect or whatever. But yeah, you can't pause it. So if you're in a race, you got to finish the race. So you got to pay attention because you can run out of time and all that. So. But yeah, I've just been playing that same handful of games that I normally do. But it's fun. It was fun playing all the Mario RPGs. And I did that for a while, and then last night I put like 5 more hours into like Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I'm still enjoying it. Those dungeons take a long time. Like I think I spent like 4 hours on the second dungeon.
Oh wow!
Because they're super mazy, and I got lost for a little bit and found my way back later. But there's like a lot of levels to it, and it goes for a while. And you're encouraged to like leave the dungeon and come back because like depending on what characters you encounter, you can get what you need to create new weapons and stuff like that. So there's like warp points within the dungeons, so you can warp back to the exit and then warp back to where you were. So you can leave and go and make a new weapon and then equip it and then come back. It's kind of what it wants you to do, I think. So you'll play for a while and then play like a mid boss, and then you can leave and go stock up on more items and then come back or make some new weapons and then come back and then go right back to where you were and then continue on the next part. So that's kind of how I've been playing it. So it's been longer, and you can also unlock like side quests while you're on the dungeon. So you can go do side quests while you're in the middle of it and then come back to where you were. So they make it real easy to warp out of the level and then come back to the level. That makes them take a lot longer then. I'm only on like the 3rd chapter of the game, and I put like 15 hours into it, I think. So
is it pretty addictive once you start playing? Like you like find yourself get sucked into when you boot it up?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I think it's cool. I like the battle system a lot. The story's kind of kooky and it's a little more lighthearted, but that's fine. But it's good. Like I think it's a fun RPG. It's a good solid one for the system, which I mentioned last week. But I haven't really noticed anything different much from what I said before. I've just seen a lot more music videos since then. You know,
yeah.
Because there'll be a part where it's just like so Japanese. Like there's a side quest where like one of the characters like loses their like stuffed animal, and you find it. And the stuffed animal's like all torn up. So you sew the stuffed animal back together and you give that to them, and they find inspiration from that stuffed animal to write a new song, which ends up becoming like a move that you can do in battle also. So you have to watch this music video of this lady singing about this plush animal. It's like that type of stuff. Weird shit. I just unlocked like the fashion district of Shibuya. So I can go buy like new crazy outfits and stuff like that, which is cool. I'm glad that, because I was getting tired of the ones that I had, but now you can go get more stuff. It actually,
for stat boosts and stuff. Is it like equipment or?
It doesn't actually. Whatever you wear doesn't change your status. Like you have like an accessory that you can equip that will like change your defense or whatever. But the your outfit doesn't affect anything. There's just, you have like a weapon and an accessory, and the outfit is just like for show. So you can dress like whoever. Because your actual stats level up the same way that Fire Emblem does. And there's no like equipment in Fire Emblem, like armor. So it does like where when you level up, like your defense rises and all that. It's the same stats that you have in the Fire Emblem game. And it makes the same noise and all that. But did you ever play, I was going to ask you, did you ever play The World Ends With You? Did you ever play that game on DS?
Yeah, man, it was back when it first came out.
I played
a couple hours into it, but it's a pretty complex game.
It is a complex game. I wanted to return to that and do an episode on that if you still had it, try to play through it again. But it reminds me of that game because it takes place in the same area and you do some of the same things. And they have like the social distortion. It's like kind of like the Mirages. It's like a similar story, I guess, except not as weird. But it still has where there's the other world that people can't see that's controlling people. Like they do that, which is like the same story as World Ends With You. And there's like the same, they kind of have the same shops, because it all takes place in the same part of Tokyo.
Sort of like accurate to that district of Tokyo.
Yeah, it's like the modern day RPG thing. They're very similar. It reminds me, Tokyo Mirage reminds me of that, especially because in like The World Ends With You, there was a lot of J-pop in that also. Actually, in the WART radio, the vocal one, there's like a song in there from that game also. But they have, it reminds me a lot of it. Minus like all the crazy, the way those battles work and some of the absurdness of it. But the basis of it is the same, I think, for both games. But if you'd be willing to give that game a go, I'd like a retrospective on it, just because it's such a weird game and I'd like to play through it again.
They released a version for iOS. I don't know if they did an Android version. They probably did. But it like limits the action to one screen, so I don't know how that changes the gameplay.
Oh, well, that kind of destroys the whole gameplay then. Because the idea,
somehow they worked around it, made it a single screen game.
Because the idea was that you had two different battles going on at the same time that you said and somehow had to do. And one of them's controlled with buttons and the other one's controlled with the touchscreen. And that was like a big part of it, was like whether you could do that or not. I felt that was a huge part of the game, and I feel like that kind of takes a lot of the uniqueness of the game away if you make it only one screen and you don't have buttons.
That's one of those games that never went on sale when I had an iPhone, so I never got it. So I've only played the original DS version. And if I was going to play through it again, I'd probably just try to get a hold of the cartridge.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to play the phone version, especially if they're cutting it in half and taking the touchscreen aspects out of it, which I felt was very
it's all
important.
touchscreen, so I don't really know how that translates.
No, I mean, cutting the two screens out. Because all of your battles take place on two screens. Because one of your characters on the bottom, one character's on the top, and they control differently. Like one you control with the buttons, and one you control with the touchscreen. But you have to control both of them at the same time. That was part of like the uniqueness of the game, I thought. So they're kind of robbing it of that. So I don't know how it would work.
No, I'm not sure myself.
But I guess that's something we could look into later. Anyway, I think we've talked a lot on what we've been playing. Let's get to the news real quick here. So before we go to our topic of the week, we have our normal NX rumors that seem to have to every week. I thought the best thing this week was the games list. Did you see that? It appeared on the Anime Club forum, I guess.
And this is a list of games that are going to be released at launch, right?
Yeah, somebody put it on the Nintendo Voice Chat forums. But on the Anime Club thread, somebody posted a leaked list of the games that were going to be released for NX from quarter 1 to quarter 4 of 2017. So this is like within like a year, I guess. And a lot of it's very much a list that you could have come up with if you looked at any of the news rumors of NX. Like Dragon Quest 10 and 11, that was like a thing that they said that they were going to put it on NX. That was actually, I don't think it was 10. I think it was just 11. Because Dragon Quest 10 is already out for Wii and 3DS. It just didn't come out here because it's an MMO and it's only out in Japan. But there's some other stuff like Fire Emblem Warriors, which is like a rumor that they do like another Hyrule Warriors thing, which I don't feel there was an actual source for that. I figured somebody just said like they should do this with Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah.
And the one thing that definitely made it look like a joke was the fact that they have like a Devil's Third release on here that says Devil's Third Apocalypse, which is like, what? Is that like the Devil's Third Definitive Edition? It's like we didn't sell it before, but this time we're going to sell it. I mean, that's obviously made it look like a total joke. But there's like Super Mario NX, which is a given. Luigi's Mansion was on there. Like, I remember that being rumored also. And there's, like, the Super Smash Bros. Definitive Edition. F-Zero EX.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously makes it look like it's fake, too, because we'll never get another F-Zero game, unfortunately.
EX. I wish it was real.
Yeah, I wish it was real, too. Yeah,
so what, you think the Smash Brothers Definitive Edition would be, like, the best aspects from Brawl and Melee tied up into one or something?
I think it would just be a re-release of the Wii U one with all the DLC. I think is what it would be. Like a Game of the Year edition type thing, which that was already rumored, or Nintendo said something about that. I don't think they actually said something, but that was another rumor, was that they were working on a Smash Brothers for NX, which meant that they were probably just going to re-release that one with all the DLC, with all the characters, with all the levels already on it. Maybe make it look a little bit brighter or something. And like, what is it? Bayonetta 3 is on here. That's another one that's like, I don't know. It's kind of reaching for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a good response to Bayonetta 2, but I don't think there was a copy sold or whatever. I don't think it really reflected that response.
Yeah, I don't think it's... I mean, they might make another one, maybe. I mean, people are hoping for one, but I haven't seen the evidence towards it. There's a couple here that are actually real, though. Like Just Dance 2017 and Riverside. Those are actual NX titles. And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So they got 3 that are correct for sure.
Let's not forget the new Mario Galaxy, right?
Yeah, it says Mario NX on here, Super Mario NX.
Oh.
Which still is like doesn't have a name. I thought it was interesting, the stuff they put on here. And there's also a rumor section to it. There's like, this part is real in this rumor section. The rumor section is like Watch Dogs 2, South Park Fresh and Fractured Butthole, Titanfall 2, Dragon Quest Builders, which
It's Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, Fractured Butthole, yes. Injustice 2. I mean, that's all kind of, it's all just like throwing shit at the wall, I guess. It's good guesses, if you're betting on it, but, it's all based on rumor stuff that people had saw. I just think it's funny that people are still releasing stuff like that. Like, I could have done that list. Like, I could have just wrote down and be like, Just Dance, Injustice 2, Devil's Third Apocalypse, whatever, I don't know. I mean, you could have easily thrown that list together and be like, hey, this is official. It's crazy.
Form.
It's crazy that people are still doing that crap, but they're going to keep doing it until we find out about it.
I'm pretty sure there'll be they'll port Mario Maker to the NX.
Yeah, that was what they were saying, like Splatoon, Mario Maker, and Smash Brothers would all get ported. That's what the rumor was. I mean, they all have communities that could still go, so. And they're great games that were ones that did well for this generation, so. And
strong communities you'd want to bring to the side of the new system to bring other people with.
Sure. There was another patent involving sound vibration for a handheld. Did you see that? Like something with like speakers by the back of the controller it's like basically 3D sound. It would be like a new 3DS called like 4DS or whatever that you could feel the sound while you see the 3D-ness. Another patent.
Sound waves at your hands or something?
Yeah, something like that. You just could sort of feel it. It's like it's creating vibrations.
Marky Mark would approve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still just more patents. Probably doesn't mean anything, but who knows? There's a T-shirt contest with the company Uniqlo. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, they make a lot of stuff. I think that gets put in those crates and stuff, like the grab bags.
Oh, Loot Crate? Yeah.
I think I might have seen some. I could be wrong, but I've watched a lot of unboxing videos of those sort of things online.
Oh, sure.
So I've heard that T-shirt name before.
They're having a contest. They're having a Nintendo contest where whoever designs the best Nintendo T-shirt for first prize gets $10,000 and a signed NX from Shigeru Miyamoto himself. So that's pretty cool. For the first two places, they get signed NXs. The winning ceremony is going to happen like it's going to coincide with the actual release of the NX, which is weird. Which is weird to do like a contest about a system that still doesn't even have a name or no one even knows what it is, right?
Right. We only know that supposedly it's coming out in March.
It's like, here, do this to win a system that you don't even know what it is. I mean, $10,000 is pretty cool, and you still get $3,000 and an NX for second place. But it's like, here, do this to get a system that we won't tell you what it is. This just boggles my mind. What if they would have done that for like the GameCube? Be like, you could win a Project Dolphin or Project Revolution or whatever. I feel like it hasn't gone. It never went this far for the other ones. Or went this far with a code name.
I guess Nintendo's doing what they do best and keeping tight lips, and like it's just building to a fever pitch of people really wanting to know something about this system.
Building the hype, yeah.
Yeah, and like that's going to help them sell consoles eventually. Like they're smart.
Yeah,
man,
hopefully
March. Something's happening in March, and it's getting so close.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to find out in a couple months, right? I mean, maybe they'll unveil it. TGS is in September, right? That's a couple months from now. Hopefully, we'll hear something then. It's just interesting that they're starting a contest for something that hasn't been unveiled yet. Miyamoto said that Pikmin has fallen down the list of priorities, which sucks. But I guess it's had to get put behind whatever they're putting together for the NX, even though it would have been, I know Kimishima said that they wanted to have a lot of games for launch for the system, so they could put that on there as a launch. It's a shame. I like Pikmin 3. I like to see Pikmin 4. I know they said it was like almost done, when nobody had even heard about it. They're like, oh yeah, we've been working on it and it's almost finished now.
No matter what Nintendo says, I don't think there would be like a huge like deluge of first party IPs. Like they don't want them to compete with each other. They're not going to release them all at the same time.
Yeah,
they're not going to get a Pikmin and a Mario and a Star Fox and a Metroid game all at the same time. It's never going to happen.
Well, Pikmin, what was it? Pikmin and Luigi's Mansion came out at the same time for the GameCube. But Luigi's Mansion was like such kind of an off thing that it wasn't like Super Mario Sunshine because that came out way later. But I don't think it was actually Pikmin and Luigi's Mansion were both new properties, so they couldn't really, I guess, compete with each other.
And if you remember, like Luigi's Mansion was kind of the substitute for there not being a launch Mario game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I at least felt that way. You probably did too. Because there were the elements that were still Mario-ish about it. Coins
and it took place in that universe, in the Mushroom Kingdom universe.
It's going to be different this time around. I think that maybe the games will come out quickly, but I don't think they'll all be released. So there may be a lot of launch titles, but we're not going to see. I would almost bet money we won't see a Zelda and a Mario at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know they've been working on a Mario for a while. Yeah, it would be, or maybe they'll do it different this time and have like a couple things up front. Or they could do like Breath of the Wild with Splatoon, Mario Maker, and Smash Brothers or something. Like try to sell repackaged stuff from the old system. They could do that. I mean, that's what PlayStation 4 did for like the first 3 years or whatever, right? How old is PlayStation 4 now? 2 years, maybe?
Yeah, 2 years.
But that's basically what they've been doing until like now. Was basically re-releasing all their PlayStation 3 games again. I don't know. It'd be dumb for them not to do it. I saw that Monster Hunter Stories has some weird looking amiibo. in Japan. I don't know if you saw that. There's like they're like some monster looking things, and you can buy separately. You could buy characters from the stories and put them on different ones. You can like rearrange one from another. I don't know if they'll come out here, but I saw that. Callie and Mari ever come out here for Splatoon? I saw pictures of people having them, but those come out. Did that come out stateside? The Squid Sisters amiibos?
I thought I saw Toys R Us. I thought I might have seen them, but maybe not.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking, but I don't know if they ever came out here or not. I don't even know what they do. I mean, yeah, I don't know what they do for that.
I've been slacking on the amiibo front. I haven't really.
Yeah, me too. I think the last one I got was Cap'n. Whenever that one came out.
We're getting ready to move, so like I don't want to buy more things. That's definitely it.
Oh, sure. And there's not really a whole lot. There's not really a whole lot coming out now. I mean, there's those Zelda ones and there's like the Mario Party ones, but I don't know when those are going to come out. But we're still kind of. Still kind of waiting. There's some Turbo-grafx games coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, man, some good ones too.
Console. That's is it 2 or 3? Like, because I saw 2 different articles. There was one that said that was Adventure Island, Bonk, and R-Type.
It was New Adventure Island.
Yeah, New Adventure Island.
Bonk's Adventure and R-Type. So I'm pretty sure it's all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's cool. I got a couple games on Turbo-grafx for the Wii. Like I know I got one of the Splatter Houses.
Those are cool.
And what I got Bonk and I got Zonk for the Wii. So hopefully you get a discount on Bonk if it's on there. Did you play Air Zonk, the shoot 'em up game?
I did that.
Shoot 'em up futuristic version of Bonk. I actually kind of enjoyed that one a little bit better. I think Bonk 2, was it like Bonk 2 or 3 is supposed to be like the best one. I think all I played was the first one, but it's okay. It's all right for what it is.
It was kind of like Mark, right?
It was like their mascot was Bonk.
They're Sonic, they're Mario.
Yeah.
R-Type, right. I'm excited about R-Type.
It looks all right for what it is. And it was at Ease was on Turbo-grafx also, right? What Ease Book 1 and 2? Yeah, or Y.
It's probably the want to pronounce it. I bought that relatively recently in the last couple of years. It's the last game I bought, the Wii Virtual Console. It's like, I gotta try this game finally.
Nice.
It supposedly has, great sound, which it does. So that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if R-Type's gonna have this killer soundtrack to make it even better than it already is.
I think it does. I mean, they're selling it for like twice the price of like Bonk. So I think it's like the CD version. Because it's like $7.99 from what I saw for R-Type. So I think it's like the Turbo-grafx Red Book version of it.
That's the one I want. So.
That makes it more enticing.
Pretty excited about R-Type. I've always loved those games. I've never played all the way through one, admittedly, but I could start playing one and play it through.
I think the only, what was it? I played through Ikaruga on GameCube, that space shooter, because I played the crap out of that. I think I played on easy, probably. It's a fun game, though. And I think I played through Gradius on NES, because that was like one of my first games that I got when I was a kid. So
I remember it was 4 or 5 years ago. I had a friend who had just played Ikaruga the first time. He was like, he made a bet with another one of our friends. $100. I'll beat Ikaruga on Expert, or whatever the highest was, by the end of the summer. So, yeah, he didn't win that bet.
He didn't make it?
But he ended up like buying the game and playing it a lot, trying his hardest. I mean, he tried. He got pretty far.
Yeah, it's a difficult game on Expert. I mean, anything on Expert is pretty hard to do.
Truly dedicated people use their valuable time to become good at something that's ridiculously hard.
Sure. There's a couple things we forgot to mention from the investors meeting from last week. Kimishima said that they originally expected the Wii U to sell 100 million units.
Which it has not.
Which it didn't, of course. But they expected to follow suit of the Wii, which the Wii did sell over 100 million units. So they thought that, with the name on there, it would have like sold with it, which they could have at least called it like Wii 2 or something like that to make it a little bit less confusing, I think. But
Super Wii.
Super Wii, yeah. Wii 64. Wii Cube. No, well, that'll be NX will be the N Cube. Also, they were talking about possibly making a controller for smartphones. They said that they had looked into that, like something that attaches to a phone, which could be interesting if they wanted to make like more traditional Nintendo games for the phone. Making some sort of usable like Bluetooth or attachable whatever could be cool. If you just slide the phone in there and it becomes a screen.
Right, and it could cut back
Game Boy or whatever.
The price of the controllers because you could just use your existing technology to have a screen.
Yeah, I could see that possibly be a thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm sure I said it before, but I feel like they're just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, or maybe maybe it's like the patents where just always constantly working on things, or just being like, well, what about this? Maybe here, you guys do this for a little bit, and then try VR for a minute, and then go do this. It just seems like they're kind of spread out to different things, trying to figure out what's going to be the next big thing. I don't know.
I mean, that's what they've been doing with the mobile space. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're
seeing that already.
I feel like they're still kind of scrambling since the loss of Iwata and all that. I mean, to a point, because he seemed kind of focused on kind of a couple things. I mean, he was he was the big promoter of the Wii and all that, and the DS. But I think that's good on our news. I feel like we've done like an hour already. We haven't even got to the topic of the week. Anyway, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and get into this game that everybody seems to be talking about.
Alrighty.
So there's a game called Pokemon Go that came out last week on Wednesday. I downloaded it. Pokemon Go, not Pokemon Stop, not Pokemon Stand. Pokemon Go.
Not Pokemon Yield.
Well, it should be Pokemon Yield, I guess. I haven't seen anybody walking into the street yet, but apparently that happens. I've seen a lot of people on their phones around here in Chicago right now. Like I went to this taco place down the street from my place, and I went in there to order something, and somebody came in with their phones out, and they're like, "Oh, dude, there's a Pokestop here," because there's a Pokestop right next door. And they came in and ordered food, and then went outside and did their Pokemon stuff.
There's a
so people are doing that.
Yeah, I was at the mall in Champaign where I live today, and there's a carousel for the kids, and that's a gym. So there is actually, it's in the food court of the mall. There's like 5 different restaurants and, all the like seats to sit and eat. And there's like 4 or 5 people sitting at this one table right next to the carousel, all on their phone. So I'm pretty sure they were just holding down that gym.
Oh, yeah, probably. Do you know like how they pick gyms or like how?
I think it's all based off the data they got from Ingress.
Oh, okay. Because there's like little, there's like little descriptions and stuff on there. Like
I think they got that all from Ingress. I don't think they added.
Because a lot of
it's the same company that made Ingress, and like the stop that's next to my job, that's a Pokestop, is a building that's been torn down.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's been changed. I don't know. There's like I live right next to a grade school, and there's nothing there. There's like no Pokestop. There's like no gym, which I'm surprised because they have like a big playground and all that. I guess that sucks for those kids. There's nothing really near there. I mean, well, there's stuff at the end of my block, like all the way at the block. There's like something at Fullerton and something at Milwaukee at the very end. But I just wonder, I don't know how they choose it.
Well, I've noticed in Champaign it's mostly like sculptures and like memorial plaques or like memorial benches and then like little garden installations. So it's all kind of like city monument.
Yeah, it's like interesting stuff. Like for me, like most of it's like graffiti or like, murals. Like spray-painted murals, like a lot of it.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple murals.
Because there's so many of them in my neighborhood that like, that was what was by the taco place was this big like bird mural, that's one. And there's like a mural for the Congress Theater, which isn't really there anymore. There's one over there. The mural that's over by the Two-Way, I guess, which when I was over there last week, one of the regulars dropped a lure over there so you could find more rare Pokemon. I got a Jinx and a Drowsy and a Slowbro, I think, from there.
I did notice there was I went to this restaurant the other day. That's a pretty new restaurant. I think it's only been open for about 7 or 8 months, and it was a Pokestop. So I wonder if like late Ingress stuff was added, or maybe they did add new stuff. But I just thought of that because Ingress is like a 4 or 5-year-old game.
Yeah, it's fairly older. I don't know what's your level? What's your Pokemon level now?
I'm about to hit level 8 on my trainer.
Oh, you're level 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a level 6, but I'm at the top of level 6, so I'm about to hit
I just
7.
got a medal yesterday for visiting 100 Pokestops. So I don't know if that's 100 unique Pokestops or...
I have
just,
not.
Times.
Yeah, I have not visited 100 Pokestops, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot in my town. It's just like... they're spread out well enough to where I've actually been out walking, and today I was kind of raining a little bit. It wasn't too crazy, but I had to run some errands, and I had a car I could use to run do that. I was like, I'm just going to walk. And I have walking, like a little while because I wanted to try to hatch an egg and want to catch some Pokemon and get some stops. So, that the game convinced me to walk instead of drive. So that's kind of
Yeah, I haven't really walked around with it. I've mostly just, wherever I'm stopped at, I've just looked at what's around and then kind of like walked a little. Like I would like look if I'm walking somewhere from wherever I parked, I'll look and see if there's a thing, and I'll stop and like do a Poke-Stop and do the swipe and get the free balls or whatever.
Well, I know better items become available to you, like from the Poke-Stops once you get to higher levels, and I think that's when you start to get the lures and stuff, and those are going to be really helpful.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of those. I've just gotten like revives and
I've gotten incense, which is kind of like lure.
And like potion sprays or whatever. But there's like I said, there's been specific places, like I know there's like a pizza place that I've been to that has a lure dropped by it, and like Two-Way had a lure also. So, and I've seen on Facebook people being like, I'm going to drop a lure every week at this bar that I work at, so come by and get Pokemon. Like, people are trying to get business out of it already. So,
Smart.
I saw that the bartenders being like, I'll drop a lure like every Sunday at this bar. Come hang out, So
yeah, I was walking to the bus the other day for my job, and I took a little detour to like hit a couple Pokestops. And I was crossing the street, and I saw there was a gym at this place called Crane Alley in Champaign. And as I'm crossing the street, I used to work there. I saw a guy that worked there when I worked there. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, hey, how's it going? Yes, there's a gym here. Like, he knew I was playing Pokemon. I had my phone out. He's like, yes, there's a gym here, and it kind of pisses me off, but I'm actually also happy because I probably made at least $20 extra in tips because they have like a beer garden outside, and people would just come sit down in the beer garden and order drinks.
Sure.
Next to the gym. So, like, he was pissed off because people are playing games and not paying attention.
Well, yeah. Or people are just running in and catching whatever. I don't know. Apparently people are running around and looking for specific types, but I haven't gotten to that point yet where I can tell, like, oh, there's a thing over there. I mean, I guess they do the thing in the grass where, like, the grass moves a little bit. There's those. And I guess we're supposed to walk over there and see whatever's in there, but I haven't done that yet.
I saw a Poliwhirl when I was in a car. Once again, I wasn't driving, but I missed my Poliwhirl, and it looked like he was in Boneyard Creek, so that makes sense because he's a water type. So I think I need to walk back to that area to find him.
I've been in a couple restaurants, like for this delivery thing that I've been doing on the side, and I seem to find Rattatas like everywhere.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Rattatas.
I wanted to make jokes about that. It'd be like, oh, I found rats at Burger King. It seems like every restaurant I'm in, there's Rattatas.
One of the first ones I caught, I was at a CVS near my house, and Pokemon showed up, and it was a Pidgey, and he showed up like right at where all the bottles of water were. You're not water type. He was in like the cooler section that was all bottles of water.
Yeah, I don't know where I found my Magikarp at. I feel like I found it in Missouri somewhere, maybe near the lake. I don't think they put him like near water or whatever. I don't know. I think that's the only water one I have. I found a Zubat in the kitchen. Like I told Jess about it, and she thought it was like a bug or something. I was like, I found a Zubat in the kitchen. She's like, what? Did you kill it? And I'm like, no. I was like, oh, the Zubat, the Pokemon. And he's like, oh, yeah.
I caught a Golbat near my house. I was kind of excited. I think it was kind of rare for it to pop up.
Yeah, I think I have one of those too. Might have been from the lure, but yeah, I have a Golbat also. I've only evolved. Have you evolved any of them? I evolved like one of my Pidgeys to a Pidgeotto.
Yeah, and I evolved. Well, I caught a Pidgeotto, but I did evolve another Pidgey to a Pidgeotto, and then I evolved my Rattata into a Ratite, whatever it's called, the next level.
Oh, that Raticate.
Raticate, yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
So I have one of.
Yeah, I haven't really. Yeah. I've evolved one. I've just started like trying to level them up because I can't seem to do anything at gyms. I just got my ass kicked in like 2 seconds when I tried to do it. So
I want to be able to do gyms right, and I'm also learning. Like I've been doing some research, but once you get to level 5 and you choose what team you're on, that affects like how you approach gyms. Because if someone on your team controls the gym, then you're not fighting at the gym. You're just like supporting.
Oh, okay. What is your team? What team
I
did you choose?
am on Team Mystic. I decided
that's the blue one, right, with the Articuno.
Yeah, that's why I chose Mystic because Pokemon Blue is the only one I've really played. So.
Yeah. I'm on Team Blue also, so we're on the same team.
There's actually an interesting story I found online about Team Mystic. This is why I'm kind of upset that I'm part of Team Mystic. I didn't know about this before, but a couple of days ago, some people spray painted Team Mystic like really like shittily over a map that was in a state park in Washington D.C.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so there was like this article I found on Reddit where
come on, Team Mystic.
Yeah, people went and wiped all the graffiti off, and of course they were part of Team Rocket. They're all dressed up for it or whatever, but I'm not happy with Team Mystic right now that they did that.
Yeah, way to make the team look bad.
Luckily, Team Rocket cleaned it up.
Yeah, I just to pick Team Mystic because it sounded cool, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, actually, I'm looking it up. So Team Rocket supposedly was the one that wrote Team Mystic to make Team Mystic look bad. And Mystic and Valor and Instinct worked together to clean up the graffiti.
But Team Rocket is not an actual team you can be on, right? Because they're bad guys.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they just said that whoever wrote that was the enemy and everybody banded together to clean up the graffiti.
One of my friend's younger brothers put something on Facebook being like, somebody asked him what are you doing with Pokemon Go? And he's like, I'm part of Team Rocket. I'm just going to go around and steal everyone's cell phones. That's what he was saying. How they would try to steal the Pokemon from Ash and all that. I can't believe it's taken off as well as it is. People have been Facebooking constantly about it, which is weird. People I know that don't seem to care about Pokemon. And I've seen even people being like, I have no interest in it, but I feel like I have to try it anyway, right? Cause I've seen people posting about that too, which is weird.
I think it shows that it's important if a lot of people are complaining about it, which I see a lot about that too.
Well, when I went to the bar that I go to the two-way, I was able to plug the show at least, I was there's people blah, blah, Pokemon Go. And I'm like, oh, hey, I have a Nintendo show that you can listen to. We'll talk about Pokemon Go at some point, like we're doing right now.
We're doing it right now.
We are. Isn't there a get-together in Champaign that you're going to?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it because I have to work that night, but it's during the day. I could actually go participate for a little while, but it just kind of started out as something people threw together, but it's gotten sponsorship from a local radio station and a couple other, some gaming shops in town and stuff. So they're giving away prizes and stuff. They're doing a cosplay. They've already posted guidelines of how your costume should be tasteful and all that. And and then people are there's a poll on the events page to let you find out what team people are on. It looks like it's a pretty serious thing. A ton of people have said they're going.
So they don't want a whole lot of jinxes then is what they mean.
Right.
By being tasteful. Because that's, Jinx is the racy one out of all of them. The racist one.
I know.
So don't dress like that.
Jinx has made it this far. I caught a Jinx walking actually near the Virginia Theater where we took that picture with Ebert.
Oh, yeah. Ebert. Is Ebert a Pokestop? He should be.
Yeah, the Virginia Theater. I think it's a garden near there or a statue or something.
That Pokestops reset every couple minutes, so you can keep doing it.
There's one right by my job that I make the most of.
I went to a show earlier at the Vic in Chicago, and the Vic is a Pokestop, so 2 or 3 times while I was waiting for the band to start, I just would swipe it and get some extra balls and revives or whatever. Do you know how to heal the Pokemon, by the way? How to heal your Pokemon, or can you only do that in battle? Have you figured that out yet?
Yeah, use your potions.
But can you do it on the main, I have potion. How do you do it? Just click on that? Because
you click on the Pokeball, and then you click on items.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta go to items. Okay.
And then when you select potions, it just brings up your Pokemon, and then when you click on them, when you touch them, it heals them and deducts a potion.
I feel
you can use revives the same way because sometimes they'll get knocked out and you have to revive them.
Yeah, I have 3 that are dead from the one gym that I tried to take on, when it was a level 1 gym, but it basically consisted of me getting killed in 2 seconds.
Yep.
But I don't think I was tapping the screen quick enough either, which is weird.
Well, from what I've read, and I've had a ssimilar experience as you. I might have lasted a little longer, but it still comes down to your CP, your attack or whatever that means. Your
CP level.
Your CP level determines if you're going to win it. And then depending on what team you're on, when you go to a gym, you might just be helping defend it. You may not be actually fighting.
Oh, sure. It's weird that a turn-based game has been turned into something else for the fighting. It's just so different from what you expect from Pokemon. You can't really grind. It's all just based around using pretty much rare candies, except they call them whatever the Pokemon type is, candy, to level everything up.
Yep.
So I don't know. We put up a thing on Facebook asking our friends to basically give an impression or rate Pokemon in one sentence. Would you like to read those off? Real quick, we can alternate. We can go back and forth.
Well, first off, I want to give credit to my friend Keith for the cold open earlier. The old timey prospector voice I was attempting to emulate. There's Pokemon in them hills, or there's Pokemon in them thar hills.
Yeah, I also borrowed from Rob for the Pokemon Balls Deep, but it's a good opener, so I kind of had to go with it.
Yeah, that was a good paraphrase. I think you got the point of it. Let me get the dad joke out of the way because my dad did comment on this. What the hector is it? I have no clue. smiley face. What Pokemon Go is, he's part of the blissfully unaware.
I was wondering who said that one. That's fine. It's better off. You don't need it. Just because nobody really tweets at me very much. I put it up on Twitter on our at Nntendomain is our Twitter. But I tweeted like, anybody, I did like the hashtag Pokemon Go, and I was like, anybody who responds to this, we'll read it on the podcast. Since I only got one person tweet at me, and I've never actually been tweeted at before, I'm going to read his. It says, I fucking hate this game and everything it demands of me, but I can't stop. That's what he said.
I hate it, but I love it.
Yep. It seems to be a consensus for a lot of them. What else do you got?
Well, I think I plan on getting into this a little bit later, like specific issues that have been brought up. But I thought a good 4-word review or impression was by my friend Jim. He said, "See you later, Data," which I think is a multifaceted comment. I think he nailed a lot of criticism in those 4 words.
Yeah, when I downloaded it, I downloaded it in Missouri, and like I said, in Missouri I had no Wi-Fi. So when I got back from Missouri, I got basically an emergency from my phone saying you're at 90% of your data. Not just because Pokemon Go, just because of, spending a week at a house that has no Wi-Fi and using my phone for whatever and forgetting that I have limited data because most of the time there's Wi-Fi that I use. Like my apartment has Wi-Fi. My other job has Wi-Fi. So it's crazy. I wrote some gripes down that I have about the game, which we'll get into after we read the responses on it. Well, from what you were saying about the data and all that, has to deal with that.
Yep. Well,
my friend Carl, who works at Rocking Horse, which I think is a gym. It's either a gym or a Pokestop. It has something there. It's by the bar that I work at, and he put in a story about him and how Pokemon Go saved him. He says, 3 days ago I had a chance to get laid. Then the phone buzzed and said, "Wait," and I said, "Wait here. I have to catch this Rattata." I got a Rattata instead of chlamydia. Oh, that's Carl's comment on that. Man. Way to go, Carl.
I don't know which is more common, Rattatats or chlamydia. I hope Rattatas.
Probably Rattatas. I don't know. Depending on where you're hanging out at.
I got one that my friend George said, if this is the zombie apocalypse, it's pretty goddamn lame. I think he's referring to wandering around with their phones.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I actually got a similar one from my friend Matt Jackson. He says the parks of Atlanta are now filled with people wandering around late at night like zombies with their faces lit up by Pokemon. So lots of zombie mention.
And it's a pretty lame, oh god, we're not fighting them, they're just wandering around.
Sure. Do a couple more before we move on.
I've got one more I wanted to mention.
Sure.
Something similar to what I said earlier. People are actually walking outside again, said by my Facebook friend Terry, with a little LOL. She thinks it's funny that people are actually outside again. So, I don't know. I think that's a nice little thing. And I mentioned earlier, myself, I walked around instead of driving today. It was a beautiful day. Kind of nice. It wasn't beautiful.
Sure.
I didn't need to be driving around and do the things I needed to do. I could just walk leisurely between locations and catch Pokemon.
My friend Scott Mann did posted this handy bit of software uses advanced technology to get you nearly hit by cars and then arrested for trespassing, which seems to be a thing, but he's playing it too. I mean, they're all playing it.
If people want to live on the edge, play Pokemon.
One of our mutual friends, but more your friend than mine because he lives where you do. Dan Duscher, he put I used to take walks to the park at night. Now I'm afraid of getting robbed. Thanks, Pokemon Go. Got that.
Yeah, he's talking about Westside Park, which is kind of close to where I live, and it's just littered with Pokestops. There's a fountain in the middle that's a gym, and then there's all the little memorials around it. So that's where you'll see people hanging out a lot in Champaign, around there in the downtown area, which is next to the park. So that's where all the stops are. The gyms and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, I've seen that too. When I was walking through there the other day on my way to get breakfast, there was at least 10 or 15 people I saw just staring at their phones, walking really slow.
Yeah, I saw a guy walking his dog, and I saw his finger going up the phone, from the bottom to the top, and I was like, he's got to be catching Pokemon.
Yeah, that reminds me, I was riding with my friend Kyle to practice the other day. We're in a band, and we saw a guy walking his dog, like you just said, and he was staring at his phone and swiping up at it, so we knew he was playing Pokemon. My friend Kyle's like, you're ignoring the actual Pokemon that you have right now. You have a real Pokemon. Pay attention to that Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. I think that's enough, probably, for what we got.
That's enough.
But yeah, I got 15 responses to that. That's probably the most comments I've got ever for anything on these, for any Facebook post. I mean, that's more comments than we've ever gotten for this show, for sure.
Same here, man. And
don't really get comments. So maybe we'll get some downloads. Maybe you guys can give us some reviews for this.
Oh, we're gonna tag you. That's for sure. I'd say people from all walks of life commented, just kind of showing the broad spectrum of people that had an opinion about this.
Let me do one more before we stop. My friend Lauren another one that's like to the point, but he says, it hacked my Gmail the first day I got it, but it's totally worth it. I don't know. Apparently people think that's a thing. I don't know if that's actually a thing. I haven't been hacked as far as I know. I don't think it's actually pulling information from you, but that seems to be another thing of people talking about, that it's pulling shit from you.
Right, and that's why when I said that see you later data comment. I think
sure. Oh, you mean your data?
Your actual personal data.
Yeah, I thought they were actually. Yeah, I thought they were talking like data plan also, because you're also losing shit for your data plan.
Because it encourages wandering around away from Wi-Fi signals. But yeah, so supposedly, and like I said earlier, I have the Android version. Niantic made a statement essentially saying, we made a mistake. What it requested to have access to wasn't actually what we want. Like, it was all encompassing, but we're not using all that. So there was an update tonight that I downloaded, or automatically downloaded on my phone. Supposedly fixes that issue, and it only accesses your location data or whatever that's relevant to the game. Supposedly, until this update, if a hacker hacked into Niantic servers, they could access your actual email account and all the information on your phone, including if you have your bank account information, your PayPal, your eBay, your Amazon, all that shit. So
yeah, basically everything.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, basically everything you would have, right?
Yeah,
and you would have on your phone.
Ultimate data mining, because it would be monitoring you physically where you were while you were doing certain things. That's worth a lot of money to like any data collection company, which there's a lot of them out there nowadays. Because we're the product of social media. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah,
they're not selling things to us; we're being sold to the companies. But anyway, that's sort of like I think what I saw, and like I read a pretty like volatile BuzzFeed article about it, and I took it with a grain of salt. But it did raise some logical points, and it mentioned like going in and changing your preferences, which I was in the process of doing when I saw that the update was going to fix it. So I'm trusting the update. Maybe I'm dumb for that, but supposedly it's not an issue anymore.
I mean, I think that like there's so many things we already use on our phone that has access to so much stuff. I mean, people were saying that about like Facebook Messenger, like that was a big thing.
The microphone.
I'm pretty sure that like, I mean, Google in itself, like the website, knows a lot more than you would think. It's kind of frightening. Like, say you search for one thing on your phone, and then you search for this, and then you type on your search button on like a different computer in the same room, it'll have that search on there. Like on the same Wi-Fi, it all communicates with each other. Like, there's a lot more crazy stuff that we don't know, and they monitor more than that. It's kind of something that was already there for other programs. It hasn't been to the point where anybody's stolen anything or been hacked yet that I know of. So,
well, actually, yeah.
I don't know.
Not with this in particular, but yeah, a lot of other services it has happened.
Yeah, I mean, well, like PlayStation Network, I guess.
There's the Amazon, there's the Amazon Echo, which is like, it's completely irrelevant to this, but, people are willfully buying a device that's a microphone that listens to you. So you can voice command your house, but it also monitors like product purchases and stuff.
Yeah, but it also probably listens at all times. It's like
That's what I mean. So it's listening to like commercials on TV when you're watching TV. It hears you talk about how much you love Code Red Mountain Dew or whatever, and then you'll get ads for Code Red Mountain Dew when you get on your phone later on that day.
Well, it's like on your phone, like if you search, if you search for anything on Amazon, it'll show up as a feed on Facebook for like whatever you search for. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, that happens too, weirdly enough. Like you search for one pair of glasses, and all of a sudden glasses are everywhere on every app you use. But that's just the craziness of the world that we live in.
So I don't think that this is it's not necessarily a defense of this being like part of that, but it is just another thing. Like you're willfully, I mean, you got to know you're like using a location based thing. Like, so it's following you and knows where you are at any given moment you're using the device. I mean, you've given it permission. The game works because of that, because you're near something physically, and that's why it works. So you're just kind of letting yourself be open to possible problems in the future.
Sure. I'm going to say it's kind of like the Kinect, where they said, where there's a whole thing about the Kinect where it's like they're going to be watching you like when you're not actually using it. I remember that being a thing where like the camera will basically watch you play games. It's on at all times. Like on the subject of like the microphone thing you were talking about, it kind of does that too.
Well, I mean, a solid piece of advice that I've seen in a lot of places, and I'm not doing it, but like put electrical tape over your front-facing camera on your phone and on your laptop, like because hackers can watch you.
Sure.
And like Allware can physically watch you. To,
in the new X-Files episodes that came out, Mulder had tape over his camera on his computer. Which I noticed that. If you watched any of those new ones, I thought that was funny. They showed that where he had taped his camera on his phone.
It's like the new tinfoil hat, but it makes more sense.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I don't do that, but maybe I should. Anyway, back to Pokemon Go. Aside from all the conspiracy theories or the conspiracy realities of the world we live in, I mean, what are like your thoughts on this? Like, what is your like critiques on the app? I saw I saw that IGN reviewed it, gave it like a 7 out of 10. I have some gripes that I have personally about it.
Yeah.
But what would you say?
Well, I definitely have gripes. My main gripe is that a lot of the time I'll catch a Pokemon, a particularly hard one to catch, and then it'll freeze up.
Sometimes you still get them, though.
Sometimes, but not always. And I was particularly pissed off earlier because I went to mail a letter, or I was mailing part of my errands for the day, and it happened to be like right by the library, the mailbox. So I dropped my letter in the mailbox, and I wanted to hit the Pokestop. So I'm walking next to the library, getting up on the Pokestop, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a Pokemon I didn't have yet. So I entered battle with it, and it took for fucking ever to catch it. Like, I must have used like 20 Pokeballs because it was really hard to catch. I finally caught it, and it fell down, and it froze up.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'd already walked past the Pokestop. I'm like, I'm not turning around and walking past the Pokestop again.
I don't think it would have worked if you went back anyway.
Yeah, so I like shut down the app, like hard reset or whatever you want to call it, where you just shut down all apps and then reopened it. I did not have the Pokemon, so I didn't get it. And I also missed the stop, so I was pissed.
Oh. Yeah.
And then I just kept walking and continued on with my day. It wasn't that big of a deal. That's a gripe I have. That's not the first time that's happened where it's frozen up, right? You see the ball shake, like, is it going to escape? And then the ball just freezes and nothing happens. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is anything going to happen now, or is it just stuck?
That actually happened. Yeah. And that happened to me quite a few times when I first got it. And thankfully, most of the time, I still got it, but it's because I was catching like small Pokemon that I'm going to get anyway. But if it's one that keeps breaking out of the ball, yeah, if it freezes and then it goes back, you don't actually get it. But there was probably like 5 or 6 of them where it did that to me, and I still ended up getting it. My big gripe is that it like does yours like reboot like all the time? Like every time it's kind of like Nntendomain, I guess, where you go to another app and then come back, it has to restart. But
it did that at first. Now I guess what it does is it says no GPS signal, and then I have to reset the app to get the GPS signal back.
Oh, because every time I go back to it, it'll show like Niantic, and then it'll show like the Gyarados, and it'll do the loading, and it'll go to the fucking road.
It doesn't do that to me anymore after the update.
Okay, I just got the update as we're recording this, so hopefully it's better now. But another thing that bugs the shit out of me is like, why can't you save your login? Like, why do I have to log in, like put my name and my password in every single fucking time?
Yeah, that must be an iOS thing. It doesn't do that on Android.
Oh, okay, because there's no way to save your Google name and all that. So every time I'd have to like re-log in. Which
on mine it just boots right up every time. Okay. Other than freezing up, it works pretty seamlessly.
So there's that, and I guess. It seems like even when I'm standing still, my character still kind of walks back and forth, like from like a couple inches, and just little stuff like that. It seemed, like I said, it seemed super glitchy when I was in Missouri. When I got to Chicago, there's a lot more stuff going on here, so seems a little bit better. And plus, I'm like a lot of times using it on a Wi-Fi signal, so it looks a lot better. But
you do have to realize it. Yeah, it's using like satellites in space to monitor your geolocation. So when you're like hanging out in your house, of course, it's going to kind of like waver around a little bit, but you got to think like the blocks that are shown on the overhead map, like they're pretty huge, depicted in like a miniaturized version. But like like my house is just a little tiny block, but it's like a fifth of my actual city block. So when I'm like hanging out at home, I'll see my character kind of like rotating in circles and stuff, but he's not going anywhere.
That's good. Yeah, he kind of just like bounces around.
And so I use incense to get the Pokemon to come, which works pretty well, but it's just a bunch of fucking
yeah, I noticed that I had some
incense,
but I haven't used it yet. Supposedly you can
it's
summon
like
some
a lure,
of them too.
But it follows you personally.
Oh, okay. You can like summon them also if you click like the square in the corner that shows you like what's here, like what's nearby. You can click on ones that you already caught, and they'll show up again, and you can recatch them. So you can
also,
if there's
no footprints underneath it and you click on it, it'll usually just pop right up on the map.
Oh, okay.
Because that means it's like so close to you that you just have to click on it and then it appears. But like,
and then
that's usually a Pokemon you don't have yet. Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll see where it is and you can walk to it. That's where like everybody's talking about chasing stuff down and all that, which I heard. I went to like a work meeting thing on Tuesday at a brewery. And I heard people talking about it there when I walked in, like being like, oh yeah, like somebody chased a squirrel down wherever, and people like running out of bars to go wherever to find it. I haven't seen anything like that yet, but people keep talking about it as it being a thing.
Well,
like
I did hear there was a lady, and this is kind of going into, we'll probably talk about news a little bit, but I'll mention this piece of news. Her name was Shayla Wiggins, and she was in Wyoming. She was in rural Wyoming, and she was trying to get a water-type Pokemon. And she wandered down to like this under an overpass down to like a river. And she looked up. She saw a couple of deer, she said, like down by the water. So she walked down there like in real life. Like they were deer. She's like, maybe I'll find a water type Pokemon. She's like staring at her phone, walking towards the river. And then she looks up and there's a dead body floating.
Oh, yeah. No, I saw that. Yeah. Her finding a dead body.
They found out
by Pokestop.
Most likely it was like a natural death, like someone drowned, or it was a suicide. They're not sure. But like, it wasn't like foul play, but yeah, she totally.
It wasn't like a gang
happened
hit or
across
anything.
that body first. Yeah, she found the body first because she was wandering around looking for Pokemon.
Well, there you go. There's a new show right there for you. Pokemon Go
CSI
Body Finder. Pokemon Go unit, Law and Order Pokemon Go unit. There you go. Go with that.
Law and Order. Forensic Go.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about the girl finding the body. Like also there's like the Pokemon in the police station. The police not letting them in. That was another one.
I think that was in Australia.
Yeah, that was an early one. I saw like somebody using a drone to catch Pokemon. Did you see that? Somebody attached the phone to a drone and they were flying it around and doing stuff. I also saw like Uber drivers offering to drive people to find Pokemon to get paid for that. I saw that. It's like another thing that's like, why? But why not, I guess? I don't know. It seems ridiculous.
I saw a Craigslist ad of a young woman that was like, she depicted herself as a professional Pokemon Go player. So she would take your phone, play the game for you for $20 an hour.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that also. Hey, why not? You could try to make some money off of it, I guess. Everybody's fucking doing it. How long do you think this is going to last for? I mean, is it going to be about as big as like Nntendomain was, where it was cool for like a week and then it was done? I mean, it seems like this has a little bit more to do other than just talk about what you ate yesterday,
I think
so
that the response is
farther.
a lot bigger with this.
Plus, I read that there's an update coming later, like where you'll be able to trade and like, there'll be some more options on there. I know they said trading was going to be in there, and there's going to be, I guess, there were a couple other things, so I guess I should have written them down, but I didn't.
I mean, supposedly,
add some things.
Nintendo's market values boosted over $10 billion since the release of this app.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But I mean, this isn't...
And that's continuing.
Yeah, I found that article weird because, I mean, this game has no Nintendo, like, on it at all. Like, it doesn't say anything about Nintendo when it opens. Like, the Nintendo's logo isn't on it. It's technically not made by them. It's made by the Pokemon Company, which is... and Niantic. But Pokemon is, like, not fully owned by Nintendo. It's a second-party thing, so...
Well, but Nintendo is getting a percentage of the profits, I think. I read a breakdown.
I'm sure they're getting something from it because they did do...
between 5 and 10%. It's, it's a small amount, but it's enough to, like, it's generating income for them.
Yeah, I heard, like, they made, like, $17 million off of the app already. Maybe his Pokemon Company did, or Nintendo did. Like, they're already making money off of it. I mean, because of how well it's doing, but... I mean,
this might be a passing fad. This might be the new Harlem Shake or whatever, but, I mean, it's definitely, like... It's different than Nntendomain because it's like it seems like all walks of life are noticing it, at least, even if they're not playing it, they're noticing that it's happening.
And there's a game aspect to it also, and it's encouraging like sort of a community and like asking people to interact with each other, which
physical exercise.
Yeah, which Nntendomain does too, but this actually has like some game parts to it. It has like gyms that you can fight for and try to hold, and more than just like getting comments about what you ate or whatever.
Those eggs, like I haven't successfully incubated an egg yet, but
neither have I because it won't like.
I went for a 10-kilometer egg, and I'm almost halfway there. I'm at 4.3, I think.
Yeah, I think mine was like a 2-kilometer egg, and I'm at like 0.2 because it doesn't seem to read me when I'm walking. Right, that's why I was having problems with like because I have to like say I'm like working on a thing and I need like a map on my phone. I have to close out of that and go to the map, and even though I walk. It doesn't seem to count like when the thing's not actually on that app. So,
do you have the power saver mode set on it?
No. I don't have the power saver mode. So
you should do that. I think that's important, and maybe why I'm not having the same problem as you. What it does is you select it through the menu, and what it does is like you turn your phone upside down, and it puts it into like a sleep mode for the app, and then the app goes into like kind of a sleep mode, but it's still monitoring your walking, and then if you get near a Pokemon, it'll vibrate to let you know you're near a Pokemon or like a Pokestop or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So that might be your problem. You just need to choose that setting.
Okay. Because it seems to be like, because I have to, I can't walk around with it on this all the time because I have to do other stuff on my phone. I close out of it and go to a separate app, and I expect it to be on still, but it seems like it's not. It seems like it's closing.
Try that power saver thing.
And then when I come back to it, it reboots and it shows Niantic and all that.
That might be why it's not working.
So that's been a pain for me.
It's not like very clearly, like one of the big things is they don't really explain how the game works. It's almost like Minecraft in a way. You have to like get online and look up how shit actually works to like understand the game. And I think like with future updates, they'll have more like tutorial kind of stuff in it. So far, it just kind of throws you into the mix, and it kind of assumes you played Ingress because that's what it's based off of, which I never played Ingress, but I have a lot of friends that did, and they're all like, they're hating / loving on Pokemon because they're like, it's kind of funny that so many people like this. This has already been around for a long time, but they're still playing it.
This has recognizable creatures on it, though. Like, as far as Ingress goes, I only knew one person who ever mentioned Ingress to me, aside from you. Like an actual person that
I know at least 10 people that are pretty into it.
Said they had played it, but like with like half of, well, maybe not half, but I don't know, like 30% of my Facebook friends talking about Pokemon Go. It seems to have taken on a lot more. And I've seen like memes or whatever, people saying like, this one didn't have as much development time as the other one, blah blah blah. They're upset about it because doesn't have as much put into it as Ingress, but who cares? I mean, I guess there are more Pokemon fans. Like a lot of people I talk to about the Pokemon one, they're just happy that it's the old Pokemon, and it's and you get to walk around and explore stuff.
Well, I don't think we've mentioned yet, but it's important to know that Niantic, who developed this game, that also did Ingress, they were an internal company at Google originally, and that team was pretty crucial in like the whole Google Maps. Like they helped develop Google Maps.
Oh, sure.
And then they became, like a subdivision that did the location-based games, and that's when they did like Ingress, which came out like several years ago. Like when I remember at the height of people playing it that I knew, it was before I got my last phone. So I still had an iPhone 4S, which was outdated at the time, but it didn't run Ingress very well. So I tried to play it and I was dissatisfied with it. And so I was like, I'll start playing Ingress when I get my new phone. So I got an HTC One M8 2 years ago, which was kind of a top of the line phone at the time. But I decided I didn't actually want to play the game, so I never actually played it. But so it came out in 2012. But so I know like it goes back that far for me in my personal history that I've since gotten another phone. This has been another 2 years. I never played Ingress on that previous phone. So the people I know that have been playing the Ingress have been playing it for 3 or 4 years. Like, they may not play it as much lately, but they were really into it for a period of time a couple of years ago.
Sure.
And that explains a lot of the landmarks in my town. Like I was saying, like one of them's that building that got tore down, that's right by my job. And then another one is when I mentioned that restaurant earlier, the gym's not actually located at that restaurant. It's located at Era Records, which is no longer at that location. They've moved to a different spot in the town, but it's like a record company that existed there for a few months before they like changed locations. It's definitely based off of old data from Ingress.
Oh yeah. We mentioned that earlier. It's
it's kind of interesting to note that some of the people that made Pokemon Go were involved in Google Maps in the first place, and that's why Pokemon Go uses that technology, and why like your Google login is one of the ways to use the game.
You see people playing it all over the place. I was even at a restaurant, like waiting for food and messing around with it, and I like kind of like relaxed, and like my phone fell down, like it dropped lower, and like some little kid saw me playing it, and then she started playing it on her phone too. And I'm like, somebody saw me doing that. Now it's like, oh, I'll do that too. I'm like, damn it.
I definitely felt
part of the masses here with Pokemon Go. I
said earlier, I didn't want to walk back by the library because I saw other people standing in front of the library playing the game, and I'm like, I don't want them to see me like wandering in front of the library.
Sure. Yeah, I was kind of hiding it. I was like, I don't want people to see that I'm playing Pokemon Go, but I'm playing.
That's why I love the Power Saver mode, because I can kind of like, all right, well, I'm walking down the street. There's no stops for a few blocks, so I'm just going to put the phone in my pocket.
Sure.
But it'll be in sleep mode, so in case Pokemon show up, it'll vibrate in my pocket, and then grab it back out of my pocket, catch the Pokemon. And a lot of times those goddamn Pokemon show up right when I'm like about to cross the street. So, I gotta ignore the vibrate, cross the street safely, and then pick up the phone.
Yeah, look out for cars. I'm hoping that's not going to be a news thing that we're going to see later. That's be like, kid got hit by car trying to find Meowth or whatever.
Well, I've already heard stories in my town of cars pulling over, and it looked like they were playing Pokemon, and they were like kind of blocking traffic, stuff like that. So it's definitely a thing that's going to be something bad's going to happen, unfortunately. But
well, I hope it doesn't.
Given the number of people playing, I mean, something's going to happen. That's just statistics.
Do you think anybody bought the friendship bracelet Pokemon thing that we talked about? Do you think anybody bought that? The wristwatch?
I don't think so.
The Pokemon Vibe. I haven't heard anybody talk about that. The $30. Well, it's not even out yet, is it?
Nope.
Haven't heard anybody talk about that yet.
I think that people are buying that shit.
Kids, Pokemon Go players, look out for cars. Be careful. Don't run into walls or cars or people or anything like that. Look out where you're going, while you're out there searching for fake creatures. AR creatures. Is there anything else you could think of?
Not really.
We covered most of it. I mean, we've been going for like 2.5 hours here. I mean, it'll probably end up being like under 2, but once it's edited and all that. But
I forgot to mention earlier, they did announce Kerbal Space Program, which is like a pretty huge indie game, is coming out for the Wii U.
Yeah, I saw
we knew that already, but it's coming out in the winter, so several months after the other console versions.
Oh, okay.
Because they have to develop it specially for the Wii U.
Oh, so they're actually going to do some gamepad stuff.
Yeah,
that's good. Somebody should do it, right?
And I don't think I ever mentioned that I got the special edition Vans we were talking about one episode.
Oh yeah,
I got Donkey Kong Vans. They're pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get any because they're like novelty shoes, I guess. And I have bad feet, so
yeah,
I need.
I've only worn them once, and they went back into the box afterwards. They're pretty cool. I like them. I mean, they're like wearing socks with soles. They're like something like a Chuck Taylor, maybe a little better than a Chuck Taylor, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I need arch support, and they seem to be like
lacking.
Maybe a little bit like not quite glorified socks, but a little bit above that, like glorified Chuck Taylors. I don't know. But I can't really wear it. But I guess it's a cool thing to get. I'm not really into... I only have like one pair of shoes. I'm not really into buying a whole lot of pairs of shoes. I guess I have two, technically. I have like a pair of shoes and boots for the winter. But, minimalist when it comes to that.
There are a couple of pieces of news I didn't mention that I'd written down, but... one of them was that, and I didn't see any actual like citations of when this actually happened, but supposedly like people were getting mugged at Pokestops in some towns because robbers knew to hang around there. And then another one was like a guy moved into a church that was like a stop on Ingress, and the church shut down and like it became his home. Yeah. And there were a bunch of people loitering around it because it was a gym. So like he had kids like sitting in his yard and stuff. He was pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I've heard other people talking, like people I actually know talk about that, saying like, "Oh, people are wandering around my house." See, there's no Pokestops on my street, so on like the block that I'm at, so I don't know if that's an actual thing. I've only just seen people wandering around restaurants that are by me. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll probably only last for so long, or maybe it'll be the new Pokemon. It'll maybe be the new big thing. This Pokemon was huge in the 90s. This may be their new huge thing. I don't know.
Well, it's a 20-year anniversary, so it makes sense.
Well, time will tell. I mean, we'll report on it on the show, of course. But I mean, I feel like we've talked enough about Pokemon Go for tonight and cover the news, but we'll be back to add more stuff to it, I'm sure, as the updates come, and we'll see how it goes.
But
I think that's I think we can put a pin in it here. This has been episode 32, Pokemon Go, Nntendomain, Nntendomain episode 32, our Pokemon Go episode. Subscribe to us on iTunes if you have iTunes. If you could probably find us on whatever other podcast app I'm sure you could find us. We're on like Google Play and all that too. Leave us a review, subscribe, comment, whatever.
Comment, please.
I'm on Twitter that's at Nintendo_domain. You can email us at Nntendomain.podcast@gmail.com. Please send us a letter. Tell us that we suck.
Just say anything.
Tell us what you want for the next episode. Just let us know something. We get lonely over here on the.
We've also been known to have guests on our episodes, so
Yeah.
If you present a compelling argument, maybe you can be a guest.
Exactly. Communicate with us on some stuff. Let us know where all your Pokestops are. But in the meantime, look out for cars and all that, and don't get robbed by the Pokestops while you're out there. And
if you see a real Rattata, don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch a real Rattata. You might get a disease. And we've been your hosts, as always, Trey Johnson and
Jeremy Mikowski.
And we will see you next week. Well, we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Pikachu, go! ピカチュウ。ネズミポケモン。高さ 0.4 メートル。重さ 6.0 キログラム。ほっぺたの両側に小さい電気袋を持つ。ピンチの時に放電する。